everybody. It's Thursday night tutorial time. How are you all doing? Tonight is going to be all about doing a little bit of wire wrapping. Now we've done some wire wrapping over the last few weeks, but it has been a while before then since we've done any. So I'm on a bit of a roll, and what we're going to be doing is wire wrapping a cabochon, which is basically a bead without a hole. Now, whether you're watching me live, some of you may be watching me a little bit later on because you're busy, do give me a thumbs up, do pop me a note in the comments so I know you're present, whether it's on Facebook, whether it's on YouTube, and even if it's just a very quick hop on. Now, these are the cabochons that we are going to be wire wrapping. They're crescent moons. They are flat backed. They are available in my Facebook group. Let me bring the banner up. So this is my Facebook group, and they're on special offer at the moment. Unlimited time. So you've got a green aventurine, a black obsidian, there is a rose quartz, there is a clear quartz, which I need to get out of its pouch. There's also an opalite as well. Now, I've used these in bead embroidery before as well. Hello, Jan. Hope you are well. Lovely to have you join. Yes, just you and me. I don't know where everybody is. I'm hoping they're going to come and join us very, very soon. If not, Jan, we'll enjoy having a chat. So there we are. They will be popped onto the Facebook group. Sorry, they're already on the Facebook group. I'll pop them onto the website hopefully tomorrow afternoon as well. So for any of you that don't shop on Facebook, that's what we can do. Now, last week, we'll just do a quick recap and just wait for other people to come online. Last week, we did some wire shell wrapping, which is gemstone shells, which again have not got any holes in them. So we did that. We also looked at making leaf vines as well on top of a bead. Now I have actually got some of the drum beads in, so I will be putting those up online soon as well. Shall I show you what we're going to be making? Now, it took me a little while to simplify, because what I always like to do is I always like to think, okay, how are other people going to find this? Is it going to be so complicated that you're going to lose interest perhaps part way through? And I can judge that because this is new to me. And the first one I did, whilst I liked it, it took quite long. So I've simplified it, made it shorter. So at the back, we've got sort of a pole that goes up the back. It's not really a pole, but it's a straight piece of wire at the back. On the original that I did, we've got a crescent moon. And just by simplifying that, it makes it a lot quicker. So I can see there's more of you join, which is really lovely. So hello, Jay. Thank you for joining. Jan says, love it. I've been demoing at the NEC today. I'm knackered. Oh, how exciting. What have you been doing at the NEC, Jan? I am dying to know. Right. You like the crescent moon back. It's really nice, isn't it? Hello, Carol. It's so good that you can join. And don't forget, if wire work isn't your thing, this is really, really beautiful for bead embroidery. So do check out my YouTube channel because I have got tutorials on doing that. So I think 5 minutes in, we'll kick into it now. Okay, let's just go on the overhead. So I think we need to go in a little bit more, don't we? There we go. Right. Jan says she was on the British Polymer Clay Guild stand. Had a go at enamelling too. How exciting! I didn't know you were into your polymer clay. Wonderful. Right. Now, I am using 0.3 or 0.4 mil wire. I'm using 0.3 because I'm going to be honest with you, it's easier to demonstrate with a softer wire, because you can bet your bottom dollar while you're doing a demo and it's a bit stiffer that it's going to look an absolute bag of spanners. So this is 0.3 mil wire, but 0.4 I used on the silver one. So I have cut 12 lengths of 0.3 mil wire at 11 inches each. And so we're going to bring all of those ends together like so. Oh, let's bring these back out. So bring these ends together, but do let me know in the comments, have you done much wire work? I'm going to take that little banner off as well. There we go. Where is it? Let's take that off, because that's not easy to look at, is it? How many of you have done wire wrapping? How many of you tried wire wrapping that you're not really sure it's for you, etc.? Do let me know. Just need to pull up my other screen. Right, I'm going to just trim some of these off. So there. So Jan says she's going to watch tonight and make tomorrow. I think that's a really good thing to do, because it's really difficult to chat, concentrate and do something new. Just trim all of those off. So Jay has done wire wrapping, but not for a while. Okie dokie. Jan loves wire wrapping, but not brilliant at it. I do like playing with wire. It's good, and it's good to do mixed mediums as well. So I have found the halfway point. Would help if I'd actually got my cabochon. I'm going to use a black obsidian. And I'm actually going to work my crescent moon so that I've got the inner bit facing to the right, if that makes sense, but it's entirely up to you. So what we're going to do first is actually wrap this at the halfway point around the bottom edge. And then we're going to do a twist to bring it all together. Now, what I found tricky initially was the fact that you've got your balancing, in effect, all of these different wires, and it keeps slipping off. So what we're aiming to do is this one. And my top tip is to actually do a rough, almost like sketching. Okay, we're going to do a rough sketch in our wire, and then we're going to go back and do the detail. And what I mean by that is I'm going to bring out these sprigs at the side, but what we're aiming at doing is this top one here and this one here. So what that does is it secures it in place. Now I am going to just hold that in place, and then I'm going to sprig two of these out at the side, or splay, and then do a little bit more wire wrapping. Just bear in mind on this one is that they will be different every time, but in nature, trees will never look the same, will they? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I didn't send out my usual message to everybody this week as well. And then I'm going to twist again. And this time I'm going to bring up some of them to come out of the corner there. If corner's the right word to use. And then we're going to twist this one. You want to bring it round, and you've got some that will go at the top, and some that will go around here. Now in a moment we are going to have to create that little bit at the back. I'm going to twist that, bring that round the back, and just deciding how many of these we want to twist. And then I'm going to bring these together and pinch. Now that is my simplified version. Obviously we've got to finish it off, but with the other ones that I've done before, this keeps slipping off and you need tape and all sorts. Whereas if you anchor that at the bottom at your halfway point, if you anchor one at the bottom, one at the top, and bring them together, that now allows us to start working on the rest of our tree. Now, what we're going to do is the back part of this. So we need this bar at the back. Hello, Francis. It's lovely that you could join. Right, where is my... Just to show you as well, if you want to be brave, you can do a bit of a crescent moon, which I've just done like so. But I can honestly say this is the easier one. So I'm going to use 0.8mm wire and just measure that. 3. So we're going to have 6 inches of 0.8mm wire. Nice and malleable to work with. And I'm just going to bend that in half. Like so. Now you can work with, what was I going to say? You can work with a thicker wire. Hello, Emma. Hello, Carol. So pleased you could join. I did put up the links in all of the pages so that you could watch it via Facebook or YouTube. So I'm really sorry you've had problems finding me. But I'm so pleased you found me in the end. And hello, Maxine. Right, so this is the back part now. And whoops, that was not the plan for it to come off. However, we are going to put the back section on there so that it secures it. Whoops. So we're going to go through those bits. If you want to stiffen this up a little bit as well, the little rod at the back, what you could always do is you can always hammer it as well. The other thing is, if you're finding it slip sliding, is you could get some masking tape. It was going oh so well. Right, this is a wee bit fiddly. There we go. So first things first is what we want to do is we don't want that to be visible. Just push it on a little bit more. And we want to actually wire wrap that bit at the bottom on it together. Bear with. I knew this wasn't going to be a particularly easy one to show you, but sometimes it's actually a good thing to see the whole thing, isn't it? You know, warts and all. Bear with. Oh, it's so good to see more of you on here, because obviously, you know, it needs to be have enough folk watching in order for me to keep doing the lives. So if, you know, the content perhaps isn't to your liking at the moment, do let me know, and let me know what sort of things. I know, Emma, you've you said you'd like the beaded lariat as well, which we can do certainly after the auction. Sorry, I'm going off piste here. Bear with me. Right, I'm just going off camera because I am just playing around with some of these bits on the end. It's a bit like a hairpin. There we go. Right, let's start with that one first of all. I am going to pop some fine wire through that little loop at the bottom, and you want to thread it on or through a couple of times. Now, once you've done that, what you want to do is you actually want to anchor this around that bunch of wires, but as neatly as you possibly can. So we're going to go underneath that and pull that tight. This is really the fiddliest bit, but what I'd recommend is that if you find that it's slipping and sliding everywhere, get yourself some masking tape and just masking tape that back bit in place whilst you sort it out, because it will make life a little bit easier. In my wisdom, I didn't think I'd need any tonight, and I've filed it back into my art stuff. Right, so I'm just making as neat as I can. Okay, and where's my cutters? What you want to do is to either cut this so that it goes right underneath, so you don't want any rough edges, or enough to wrap it fully round. So that's the base part done. Now next is we're just going to bring this round and create that underneath. Bear with. There we go. Right, so just take stock, and then what we're going to do is just straighten this up, and I'm going to undo this bit at the top now and wire wrap it around these two bits here. Easier said than done. Right, let's just keep that as it is. Right, so we're going to bring that around. We can always take stock of that in a moment. Whew. Right, that's the difficult part done. Okay, just to talk you through it. where we're at. We've cut 12 lengths of 0.3mm wire at 11 inches. We've found the halfway point and twisted it round the bottom here. Now, don't worry about the fact that you might have some slack edges here, because what we'll do is we'll get our pliers in and tighten that up. So we actually wrapped it, twisted it all around, and as we're going, we were sprigging out these as well. So let's just show you this one. And then at the top, we've travelled that one underneath and that one at the top. And what it's given you is 2 secure points, one at the bottom, one at the top. Now, this little bit at the back, this will pull over a little bit when we bring these. So this is what we're actually going to use to anchor the branches at the back. Now, I like to make it a bit zigzaggedy at the back because I think it just makes it look a little bit more interesting. Now, I'm also going to just wrap that round, bring it at the bottom, and just create another little anchor point on there as well. Let's work from the bottom up. And even though it might still come out, that's okay, because we are still going to be anchoring and making things a lot better. But like I say, get yourself some tape as you're working with it. So what we're going to do first of all is we're going to twist this, create some branches. I actually prefer to tie off, so to speak, anchor all of these one by one as we go. Not easy when you're on camera, so do bear with. What I could almost do with doing is just getting some little tweezers. There we go. Just making sure you can see me okay there. Okay, and then we go back round again. I'm hoping, can you see this all okay? But I honestly recommend, rather than doing the whole thing and then tying off, it really is a lot easier to trim as you go. Okay. I'm just going to wrap those round once more. Once you've done one or two, it gets a little bit easier. And just make sure as well, I'm going to trim those underneath if I can, because what I don't want is those tails. I think I've just trimmed that one off. That was not what I meant to do. Now, this is really why wirework is not my main. Wirework's not my main medium. I do like it, but I do find that if I work with wire for too long, it actually hurts my hands and my nails. Right, so that's that bit there. Okay, now I'm just going to have a quick look at your comments. Emma says, thanks, Rachel. I really like the look of your necklace you were wearing. Plus, I thought it might be the season for some glamorous necklaces. Absolutely. Francie said, I honestly don't know how you do it under camera, so please don't apologise for going off camera so you could do the very occasional bit more easily. Thank you. And it's quite clear to see. Brilliant. Tree of Life on the moon. Loving it. I'm glad you like it. I thought you'd like this Emma, because I know you like your Tree of Life, don't you? So with this one, just sort of go where it organically leads you. Personally, I like that sense of irregularity with it, but I know everybody's different. Some people prefer symmetry, but just remember that nature is not symmetrical. If you look at, you know, your trees around you in the garden, they will be very, very different and not completely balanced. So I also think that if you were to make it too symmetrical, I don't think it would look quite so good, because I think people would start maybe looking for maybe the mistakes might stand out more. Does that make sense? Because it's so difficult to actually get something like this that even. Right, so I'm going to bring these out a little bit. Whoops. And as you can see, it is getting a bit easier because it's actually finding that it's securing itself. It's settling down a bit now. Now, you will need to take more care and attention than I am, because what you don't want to happen is you don't want any loose bits and pieces in terms of, sharp bits at the back. Now, copper, I think, would look really, really nice with this. Now, when did we do? We did a copper necklace as well, didn't we? Like a leather necklace with copper ends. So if you follow that tutorial, because I think it's quite difficult for you to actually get copper findings, isn't it? Whereas the tutorial I actually did shows you how to make a leather necklace with your matching metal findings. And don't forget, on my YouTube channel, I've got about 190 tutorials on there. And the more you watch it, the more it will help me, because I get so close to what they call monetizing, which is basically where you can start earning money, and then they change the goalposts. Always happens to me. But to be fair, I don't think having the YouTube channel is all about that anyway. It just helps to give you some visibility, really, and to help people with the tutorials. Right, let's spread these out. So as you can see, the first bit, the fiddliest bit of this is going to be getting the first part done so that you can secure as much as possible this cabochon in place. Once you've done that, you're on a roll. Now, there are lots of tutorials out there, and what I've tried to do on this one is to make it as simplistic as possible without you having to do too much sort of wire wrapping, wire weaving. Obviously, you can do it in sterling silver, but I'd seriously have a good practice with your silver plate before you do anything like that. And also get your measurements spot on so you don't waste any as well. Right. Oh, I've missed one. on there. So I'll read your messages in a second. But do let me know in the comments if perhaps this is quite something new to you. Does this look achievable to you? Does this look like something that you think, yeah, I can give that a go? It is a little bit rustic. It might be too rustic for you. Okay, let's just turn that over. So that, okay, sturdy, nice and sturdy. And then we're just gonna need to be careful when you go in with this because it's plated. And what you don't want to do is take off any of the surface metal. So if you're a bit worried about that, then what you can do is just pop some sellotape on your pliers. Now, I might just try and undo this now that we're quite well secured. It might not happen, but we can give it a go because we're right at the last stage now as well. So that's not bad going. You know, we've started from scratch and we're up to half an hour. That's not bad, is it? Now, I'm not saying that it's going to take you half an hour, but just bear in mind that this was a completely new project to me. This is not something that I've actually done before with wire. Right. So I'm just going to bring this round. Like so. And then we're just going to chop those bits off. Now, with this, you could use a big whole bead. You could just leave it as it is if you want to, and just put sort of a loop up the front. But what I quite liked, I'm hoping it's going to work with this one, is I actually quite liked having a large hole bead on top to try and hide that bit of wire work there, like so. I quite like that. And I might pop another one on the top. Let's see, what have I got? I've got some melted sterling silver beads, sort of molten ones. I don't know if both of those will fit in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just wrap that around once, chop that off, make sure I don't chop the other one off. See, I quite like that, but you know, you have it however you want it. I just like the thought of actually covering up those little wire wraps there. So just going to turn it at right angle, cut it down to about 1 centimetre, and then turn a loop. Okay. Whew. Now, let's just have a quick recap, shall we? So that's done. It's not the neatest of mine at the back, I'm not going to lie. However, you know, it was a very quick display. Now, what I'd be inclined to do at the back to tighten things up is just create a little bit of movement in the back there. That will also help tighten it up, and also make sure that you take time to tuck those in, but that's really, really secure. What we did is we have a flat back cabochon. They're on special offer in the Facebook group. There's 5 different colours. There's obsidian, green aventurine, clear quartz, rose quartz, opalite, and I've cut 12 lengths of 11 inches, made them all the same length, found the halfway point and wrapped it round the base, bottom right base. Then twisted, pulled some threads out, wires, twisted, pulled more threads, wires, or whatever you want to call them, at all of these points. I didn't do the detail on these until after. I just literally scooped them to the side. The key points to being able to actually get an anchor point is what you're aiming for this, because otherwise it's slipping, sliding, and it makes it really difficult. Now, what I did was I did a temporary twist between these here and that up there. And that did for some while hold it. But then I needed to anchor these just to make it fully secure. So I then twisted, pulled them apart separate, and then I anchored them to this little pole here. So basically just creating a double rod and doing one by one. Honestly, if you do the whole thing, you've got all these wires coming out, you've got all these shoots coming out, and it looks really difficult to, like, where do I start? So for me, I found that going round the back and doing each one as you go, cutting, trimming, tidying as you go, was a lot less overwhelming. And once you've got that anchor point between the top and the bottom, then the world is your oyster. And I can honestly say, particularly sort of autumnal, this time of the year, I think they really create quite an atmosphere, don't they? And there's no reason why you couldn't actually have a little, you know, for example, in this, why you couldn't have a little bird sat in the tree. You could either make it, or you could buy a little pendant. You could even have a little dropper in the middle there, so that it drops a little bat, a gold bat. You can create your own depth and atmosphere with these, so you can make them your own. You can use some bigger hole beads at the top if you want to, or you can just twist them and create a little bit of a loop with the thicker wire to cover it. Okay, so let's come off the overhead, let's have a little chat and a little catch up. But I'm hoping I haven't made it look too complicated for you, and at least by it being quite new for me, I can then share to you what I found difficult. So I've done this, I've made lots of prototypes on this, and my prototypes were, no, that's too faffy, no, not happy with that because it's going to take too long. So isn't it ridiculous? Sometimes you go to bed at night and you're thinking, there's got to be a simpler way. And that's exactly what I was doing. And I thought, do you know what? Whilst it's quite nice having the crescent moon at the back, that's faffy. That's another stage that you don't really need. So let's have a little look. So Emma had done a Christmas, sorry. Emma had done a Tree of Life sun catcher, which she needs to put on the page. And she's recently just finished a crescent moon sun catcher that you might like to see when you put it on the Facebook page. Let's see. Looking forward to that. Brilliant. That is a lot of tutorials, Jan. That's over quite some time. And if you really look back, there's a lot of cringe stuff. A lot of cringe stuff, but I keep it in there. It's a journey. Emma says, do you know, Rachel, the first time I saw you was on Create and Craft doing your Tree of Life pendants. I wasn't into arty stuff then. I watched it and thought no more about it. Fast forward a few years and I'm here following you and watching your tutorials and making my own Tree of Life pendants. That's really nice. That's really lovely. Thank you. And it's especially nice that you're creating your own Lilton things. That's what it's all about, is I can hopefully make the mistakes for you, give you the tools in your bag to try it, and also to know that you're not alone when you're coming across some of these difficulties. If you do come across the difficulties, do put them in the, our beaders group, because we've all been there. It happens to us all. Carol says, my goodness, you have the patience of a saint. Looks very fiddly. I think I'll stick with bead embroidery. That's no problem. And as you know, Carol, these make very fine bead embroidery pendants. Emma says, I can see a lot of swearing happening whilst I'm trying this out. Absolutely. I can relate to that. Love the beads idea, says Jay. Thank you. You mean the bits on the top? Maxine says, very nice. Thank you, Rachel. Jan, looking forward to trying it tomorrow. Hope you enjoy it. Like I say, those top tips are have a bit of masking tape. I wouldn't use sellotape because it'll make your wire really sticky. Masking tape, or I've got some art tape that I used for my framing. It's just something you want on there temporarily, and you only need a small amount. Emma says, well, wow, definitely give it a go. Not sure if I'll get round to it this side of Christmas. Hope you're going to continue to have those crescent moons. Even if they sell out, Emma, I can get more of them. No problem. So let's just show you. Oh, where are you? That just reminds me of sort of this time of year. And very autumnal, very mystic, bit eclipsey, isn't it? And that was the green one I did. Emma says, can I ask your advice? What's the best type of hook to use to hang a sun catcher on a pole? How thick's your pole, Emma? Is this for like a garden ornament? I've got some hooks that are available to sell, but I don't know whether or not they'd be wide enough for something that goes outside. So yeah, does anybody have any questions? Like you say, it might just be that it's not the medium for you. Personally, I like to try lots of things because it keeps your interest going. What I might try though is I might have to play around with the times as well, because we don't quite seem to be getting as many people coming on the Thursday. Emma says to make yourself if I sell to people. Oh, okay. Right, for making a hook, I would use your probably 1.5 mil, anything from 1.2 to 1.5 mil. This is how I used to do mine, hang on, let me go on the overhead, that's easier. And I'll just go and grab a mandrel because we've got plenty of time. Just a reminder that next week is auction week. Got loads and loads of new stuff, new goodies. Very excited about that. So I would turn a loop, small loop, like so. And then I'd use a ring mandrel, and you can obviously go as big or small as you want to. Bearing in mind, though, that this is 0.8 mil, so this isn't going to be sturdy enough, but this is just what I've got available. Turn that like so. Hammer it to work hard on it. Okay, I would personally maybe pop some beads on there, like so, and just turn that at an angle, cut that off. Turn a loop like so, work hard on that, open it up, hook it on, and that would be the homemade hooks that I would make. And you can bring it down further if you want to. You can make it bigger if you want to. If you need super dupe big hooks, then maybe use your bangle mandrel as well, but the key really is having a thick wire. So I hope that's helped, Emma. I hope that gives you something to think about. Jay says, love to try new things. I get inspiration from your lives. That's so lovely to hear. Well, I'm going to love you and leave you. Don't forget, next Thursday, auction night, 6 till 7:30. Got loads of beautiful, beautiful gems as well. Also got some pre-made gemstone bracelets, which will be great if you want some sort of stocking filler presents that aren't very expensive, that look great. And perhaps if you want to fill up your craft stall as well, because they're things that you could make. So they're quick and easy profit. So anyway, thank you, ladies. Been so good to have you join. You all take care and see you very soon.